So, Mr. Pitka, what are some of the common chronic conditions among senior adults aged 65 and above?
Oh yeah, sure. Let me list here the conditions in order of prevalence. Firstly, hypertension, high blood pressure is affecting 58% of our senior adults. High cholesterol coming second is affecting 47%. Arthritis, 31%. Ischemic heart disease affecting 29%. Diabetes, 27%. Chronic kidney disease affecting 18%. Heart failure and depression both affecting 14%, Alzheimer's disease and dementia affecting 11%, and COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, affecting 11%.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pitka. Those large percentages seem very disturbing indeed. In fact, I would also like to highlight a few trends. First of all, we have 50% of adults aged 18 years or older who did not meet the recommendations for aerobic physical activity. And also 79% did not meet recommendations for both aerobic and muscle strengthening physical activity. So this has actually led to healthcare costs amounting to US $117 billion, all due to the inadequate physical activity.
Aaron, yeah, indeed, this is something to be concerned about, which is why the whole foundation of this course, as well as the implementation of exercise programs with her technology, rests on the concept of exercise is medicine. For the definition, exercise is medicine is the belief that physical activity promotes optimal health, is integral in the prevention and treatment of many chronic medical conditions, and should be regularly included as part of healthcare.
That's very interesting and hopeful indeed. This will lead us to the next section where we will introduce a few of the medical conditions which can be targeted and controlled by exercise, such as type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and cardiac disease. And we are back. So I hope you have learned a fair bit about the different medical conditions, as well as the anatomy and physiology of muscle contraction. This now leads us to the next part of the lesson on the muscle strength curve. So, Mr. Pitka, would you like to explain a little bit on what is the muscle strength curve?
Sure. So generally, the force exerted by muscle changes throughout the range of motion. So, for example, the following subject doing a bicep curl, at the start of the curl or at the 0-degree angle, the relative force is low at around 0.6. And at the midpoint of the curl, when the arm is bent at 90-degree angle, the force is the greatest as there is higher contraction, and this is at around 1.0. When it goes beyond the midpoint, the force reduces again back to 0.6.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pitka. So, yes, actually, if we plot the concentric action of the muscle contraction described on a graph, we would be able to see the following curve, which does show the relative force and how it varies across the activity. So that's what you see up there in the graph.
Oh, yeah, so this variation is due to the geometric linkage and the internal factors of the muscle, such as muscle length. And to be as effective as possible, the exercise machines should mimic this change.
Let's discuss how the Her machines mimic the natural force variation during muscle contraction.
Yeah, sure. So the Her machines are based on air pressure technology, and this simulates the natural movement of the muscles. And using this air resistance pneumatic technology and lever arms, resistance is adjusted in accordance with the muscle's natural generation of muscular force, regardless of the speed of the movement. And this also allows zero or close to zero minimum resistance and stepless resistance adjustment.
So, how does this make Her machines the best choice for rehabilitation and senior exercise?
So pneumatics produce both concentric and eccentric forces similar as in nature and everyday life. They can also be used for isometric work if needed. And stress on joints and connective tissue is minimized. This is all regardless of the speed of movement. Muscle tension is always maintained. Loads start from close to zero and can be increased very little by as 100 grams or 1 kilo as needed. So can be varied very specifically to the user. The speed of movement can be varied depending upon what outcome is required, whether we train for strength, endurance, or power. And pneumatics enable the resistance to be changed at any time.
This is very interesting. I can't wait to introduce how we can put these machines to effective use in the planning and implementation of programs for seniors in subsequent lessons. So in the next session, you will be provided instructions on your assignment for this module.